saying on the other songs.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Episode 461. It's Tuesday, February 5th, 2013, 5 p.m. Pacific Time. Internet talk radio for your imagination. Mike Matthews broadcasting from the last place on earth located somewhere in Podcastro Valley, California. Today we hear from Chely Shoehart, Floyd the Floorman, John Deere the engineer. Plus, I bring you the segment Mike on Mobile, where I broadcast to you from the happiest place on earth and not the place with those overpriced chocolate-covered ice bananas.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Speaking of Disney, they reported a 6% drop in first quarter earnings over Who Wants to Be an Ignoramus.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
I mean, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? The producers of that show are seeking $269 million in damages. And that's a lot of money. It might cause some of the rides to have power outages at the Disneyland park. And they want $50 million in interest as well. And you know what they want to tell Disney is to go to a healthier place. Disney owns ABC and that TV show.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Where does Regis Philbin fit in all of this? I don't think any of us will ever know.
Mike's
and Standard & Poor's
Daily
is getting hit
Podcast
by the U.S. Justice Department with a civil fraud charge because of those atrocious ratings they gave to toxic subprime mortgage-backed securities, you know, back in the times when, oh yeah, the entire world economy was crashing. Oh, look who just walked in.
Oh my God, this is Chely Shoehart, the good job supervisor. I sure miss Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
Did you used to watch that a lot?
Yeah, and The Weakest Link.
Wow. Remember that when those shows were huge and Howie Mandel was going around not shaking people's hands?
You mean Deal or No Deal?
Oh my gosh, all those great shows that just featured a bunch of people trying to win a bunch of money and we were all glued to it. And then I didn't watch it ever and people would be like, hey, did you watch last night's show? And I'd be like, why? I'd have more fun watching Match Game PM from the old days.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
It was a great show with very skinny, bizarre, thin microphones. Oh, look who just walked in. Hello, Mike. This is Floyd the Floorman.
And this is John Deere the engineer. Mike, those microphones were incredibly difficult to make.
Because they were so thin?
Yes, and they were being made in the 70s when we didn't really have that good technology yet.
Oh, how sad.
Yes, it is, Mike Matthews. It's so true.
What?
It's really true.
I can't understand what you're saying.
It's really true.
All right, I'll just have to defer to Floyd the Floorman. Can you interpret John Deere for me? Yeah, he said it's so sad. Oh, okay.
Mike Matthews, I heard that mixing alcohol with diet soda can make you drunker.
Oh, boy. Now, Chely, are you partying a lot these days?
No, Mike Matthews, I'm not. What makes you think that?
Well, just all those stamps you have on your hand and the kind of messed up hair that you have.
Mike Matthews, this is the latest hairstyle.
Yes, well, I know you're a big fan of Kesha, but you see, I did hear this as well, that diet soda and alcohol mixed together could make you drunker. According to a new study, alcohol consumed with a diet mixer results in a higher BRAC, breath alcohol concentration, as compared to the same amount of alcohol consumed with a sugar-free sweetened mixer. Turns out the sugar slows down the absorption of alcohol from the stomach to the bloodstream.
I should have suspected that.
Mike, so along with not actually consuming sugar, which can make you fat, you're also getting drunker. It's a win-win.
Not necessarily, because the chemicals they use in diet soda drinks is not good for you either.
Wow. So it is a lose-lose for everyone. I guess we just can't get drunk at all.
That's right, Mike Matthews. We're going to be excellent role models for people.
That's right. Now go find a brush and go in the bathroom, get some hot water and soap, and try and get those stamps off.
Okay, Mike Matthews.
Sometimes we all get sidetracked on the wrong roads. Yeah, even a big company like Standard & Poor's.
That's right, Mike Matthews. And you should see the size of Floyd the Floorman's pores.
Hey, I haven't had a good exfoliation in a long time. All right, well, if you feel that Standard & Poor's should be sued, or if you think that diet drinks and alcohol make a wonderful combination, or perhaps you would like to weigh in on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire taking all the money out of Disney, you can comment by emailing me, mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. We read your comments on the section emails from email. Also email me there if you'd like to be a guest on the show, or if you'd like to be a sponsor on the show. We have a spot for you, and it's a great spot to be in. mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. Also check out our website, mikesdailypodcast.com. Go there to find our link in iTunes, and that is where you can download the show, subscribe to the show, comment on the show, rate this show, and if you do that, more people find out about us. Also, we have links to where to find us in Facebook, Yelp, Twitter, and YouTube, and also the links to the internet radio stations that now carry us, including knjoradio.com. I used to work for KNJO in the early 90s. It was a fun time, and now I'm back on KNJO, thanks to the miracle of internet radio. Links to that, as well as our blog and our podcast pictures, all at mikesdailypodcast.com.
Mike on mobile.
It's Mike Matthews, Mike's Daily Podcast, and Mike on Mobile, walking with Basil the Boxer, another part of the Dog Walking Chronicles today. Oh, he's shaking. He's shaking. Look out for the drool missiles. We are walking in a place called Heron Bay. I've done a Mike's Daily Podcast, Mike on Mobile, Dog Walking Chronicle from here before, but it's such a beautiful day, I thought I'd do a quick one today and just describe to you what I'm seeing is San Francisco off in the background, and then Sutro Tower, which we've discussed, South San Francisco, just a little bit to the left of that. And then I can see, because it's kind of windy, as you can maybe hear, I can see across the bay to the San Francisco airport, and then just some clouds above the peninsula. It's always so nice here on the East Bay looking over to the peninsula. I don't think they get as much of a ride looking our direction. I don't think we're quite as... Oh, wow. Now, I'm standing next to some marshes here in the Heron Bay, and a white crane has just taken off and landed. It just landed now. And Basil the Boxer is checking him out. He's probably about maybe 100 feet away, and just a beautiful white crane just kind of walking around. And a lot of this area here is designated bird sanctuary. And yeah, so Basil is not allowed in a lot of these areas. Actually, here he's okay, but they've got a lot of it cordoned off. And we're also in the flight path. You can hear the plane flying in, the jet of the Oakland airport. It's not too far away, probably about 2 miles to the north of me. And I'm just staring out on the shimmering water. There's a canal going by me here that goes into San Leandro. And I'm really in San Leandro, basically, sort of on the border of San Leandro and Hayward in the East Bay. And there's people walking. It's a Sunday as I'm recording this, and people are walking along, getting their exercise, as people tend to do here in the East Bay quite a bit. Kind of a healthy area. And on our walk today, I'm sure we'll run into a couple of interesting dogs. One time on this walk, we ran into 2 Great Danes that were off-leash. So I took Basil off-leash, and they began to play. It was amazing. The Boxer and the Great Danes. It was some dog fun. Big dog fun. So just giving you this dog walking chronicle. We're moving again, cutting through the wind, and enjoying the beautiful view. Just a couple of clouds up in the horizon, and a couple of bicyclists here and there, and a couple of birds flying, and a beautiful day here in the midst of winter in Northern California, and a peek with taking you with me here on Mike on Mobile for Mike's Daily Podcast. Back to you, Mike.
Thank you, Mike. Wow, that crane description, it was as if I was actually there. Amazing. And Basil, you can still hear him walking along. Dog walking, so much fun as we go outside the last place on earth where we bring you Mike's Daily. One more time. MikeStaleyPodcast.com. I mean, the show. Right. From somewhere in Podcastro Valley, California.
And here's today's podcast picture.
The picture, oh, this was a... Can't remember what it is at all. Let me look. Oh, there we go. Okay, I remember now. The picture is a day that Basil and I were walking, actually, in the fine town of Pleasanton, California. Not to be confused with the wonderful Reese Witherspoon, Tobey Maguire movie, Pleasantville, with Don Knotts' last appearance in a feature film. This is actually Pleasanton, near us here in Podcastro Valley, California. And they have put a lot of bronze statues throughout their downtown area. It's very nice. Their downtown is beautiful. They did such a good job keeping a lot of the history and renovating a lot of areas and actually putting in some very modern buildings in as well. And this is actually near their community theater. They've got a bronze statue of Van Gogh painting away, and Basil sat down next to him, actually sniffed him, thinking he was real. What a stupid dog. Sorry, Basil. Didn't mean it. So it's a cute picture of him looking almost like he's sitting with the bronze statue. Just, he's good at just sitting there. So he has quite a, he cuts quite a pose, Basil the Boxer. So you can check that out, MikeStaleyPodcast.com.
Like, I feel I got almost all the jam stuff out. I'm like so happy.
Are you going to stop partying with those party friends of yours?
I mean, maybe. They're just getting a little bit old, you know? I mean, I don't really like alcohol, and I'm not going to drink it with diet drinks just because they tell me to.
That's right. March to your own drum, Chely. Yeah, Chely, when the world gives you lemons, you got to make a lawsuit and sue the world, because lemons are really boring. You can only do a couple things with them, like make lemonade.
Floyd, I don't think that's the expression.
What expression?
Never mind. Look at those pretty birds right there.
Oh, I love being outside because I'm Floyd the Floorman. Ironically, there are no floors out here. There's the ground. But you're not a ground man. That is true. Keep that stuff away from me. Okay. Then I suggest flying. You know, tomorrow we will bring you the segment called News Random. Plus, we'll hear from Benita, the Disgruntled Fiddle Player, and the Brewmaster.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com. Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!